I've been patient, time for me to chime in. Comfy clothes on, feeling just fine. I'm busy right now, it's craft and show time. My craft and show is on, it's my time for me. Laughter, tips and tricks, this is what I need. We're here to have fun, we're all in the zone. When crafting with friends, you're never alone. The host came on, they are truly a gem. Here for the show and to chat with my friends. Chat with each other about this and that. We share ideas, wisdom, and other fun facts. My craft and show is on. It's my time for me. Laughter, tips,
Live from the Sunshine State in Miami, Florida, here is the Gifted Crafters Morning Show with Nancy.
Hey, Gifted Crafters, and welcome back for another Saturday. Good morning. Good morning. Not Saturday, right? I was going to say Saturday crafternoon, but man, you can tell I'm a little tired today. Good morning. Good morning. Oh boy, I see everyone from all over the place. San Antonio, Texas. Awesome. Miami. Hey, neighbor. How you doing? Alrighty. Maryland. Texas. I see. I'm trying to go down the line here. Alrighty. Awesome. Awesome. Well, good morning to you all, and welcome to the Gifted Crafters Morning Show. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Nancy with GiftsHQ, and we host these daily sessions to just talk about all things crafting, from sewing, embroidery, and just so much more. And if that's something that you're into, we have an awesome community. So go ahead and put yourself in the chat and say hello to our fellow crafters out there. Our community is fantastic. Oh my gosh, Robin, your 85-year-old mother is taking you to lunch. Awesome. What a fun time. Have a fantastic time, Robin. That's awesome. Love to see when family kind of gets together. Alrighty, I see people. Hey, there's my little girl here. Yep. How you doing, guys? I thought I saw my daughter on here, but no, that wasn't her. Okay. So we've got Maryland, San Antonio, Texas. We've got Canada here. Hey, Canada, how you doing? And a few other places, South Texas too. Hey, okay. Alrighty, so I see we've got people from all over the place, so thank you all for tuning in. So if I sound a little bit different, we were kind of doing a little sound checking, and we're going to be doing some embroidery today. And so because of that, we had to kind of play around with the sound because, you know, embroidery is kind of loud when you put the machine, so we were trying to kind of do some sound compression. So I may sound a little bit different because we're hoping it's not too loud, but we'll kind of see how it goes on this. Alrighty. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, grab your favorite drink now. I've got my water with some ice. It's really hot out here. We're in Miami, Florida, and it's very hot. And I know it's steaming hot from places all over the place. I mean, you guys are just having temperatures over the 100, and it's super hot out. So I hope that you guys stay nice and cool today. I know I'm going to be kind of staying close to my water before I can take anything else, but stay hydrated, guys, because it's super hot out there. All right, let me grab myself a drink, and I think that our food truck is coming down the line. So I know you guys really like your snacks in the morning, so go ahead and grab your snack. We've got all kinds of stuff on there, you know, all kinds of goodies from croissants and muffins and bagels and all kinds of good stuff. We also have some healthy stuff in there too, some kale and carrots for those of you that like to juice in the morning. Yeah, last hot day there in Rhode Island. Yeah, you know, I went to school in Rhode Island. Went to school in Rhode Island, so yeah. Nice. Awesome. Okay. Yay, food truck. Yes, Robin, you got your food truck. So let me grab us a little sip. Okay. So, we've got a jammed session today because I'm excited to kind of do a little embroidery with you guys. So we are going to be doing something that's pretty popular. I like to kind of hang back when the new things, sorry, my throat is like going in and out. When new things kind of come out, I like to kind of hang back a little bit and wait. I'm not one that kind of just jumps in because I like to kind of wait for all the kinks to get out and then wait for, you know, is it really a good process, and do my own testing and things like that. So today we're going to do some embossed embroidery, and I know you guys may have seen that out there. There's been tons of things that people are saying are embossed and showing shirts and towels and all kinds of things that you can emboss. So it's really a pretty nice little process, and I think that, you know, you're going to have a lot of fun with it. Oh, you've got your book yesterday. Awesome. Well, show us what you make because I'm excited to see that. We finished ours up yesterday with a little wall hanging, and I forgot to take the pictures of it, so I'll have to do that today. I just kind of been running around a little bit too much this week. Okay, so embossed embroidery is what we're going to be doing today. And before we get into all of that, let's quickly go through our crafting news because I do have quite a bit to tell you about here. Actually, two things here. If my throat kind of holds out for me. Okay, so let's go over to Greenfield, Indiana, where we have a special sewing machine with a story now on display for everyone to enjoy. It isn't just any kind of old machine. It belonged to a woman who inspired Little Orphan Annie. You guys remember that one, right? So before the famous comic strip and the musicals, there was Mary Alice Gray, who's a real person who spent part of her childhood with a family of a poet, James Whitcomb Riley. She loved to tell stories, and Riley turned those tales into a little poem called Little Orphan Annie, which then became a classic. Right, so now, thanks to her great-great-granddaughter, Mary Alice's actual sewing machine has been gifted to the Hancock County Historical Society, and it's now on view at the chapel in the Park Museum. And right next to a photo of her, and yes, the museum believes she made the clothes that were shown in it. The treasured machine gives people a chance to see the heart and hands behind one of America's most beloved characters. Mary Alice may have only lived with the Riley family for a short time, but the creativity and kindness that she created left a legacy that's going to last for generations, and that's really awesome. Okay, now we're going to head over to Glenwood Springs, Colorado, and we're going to go to the Roaring Fork Quilt Guild, and it's a stitching kind of comfort and kindness for every single thread. And this is just a group of women who are quilters. Some of them are beginners, some of them are seasoned pros, and they've taken on a mission called Cozy Quilts for Cancer. Now, they make some handmade lap quilts for cancer patients at the Valley View Hospital Oncology Center. And these aren't just any kind of quilt. They're soft, they're fleece-backed, and they're full of a lot of love and designs that help the patients feel cared for during those chilly chemotherapy treatments. So the idea came from Nancy Eld, who's a guild member and a hospital valet manager. And she noticed how cold the chemo made patients feel. So thanks to her and the big hearts in the guild, they've given out 8 quilts with plans to make at least 50, which is pretty cool. Now, each quilt costs about $125 to make, and while the hospital did pitch in, most of the cost is coming straight from the guild members' pockets. That's how much they care about that program. So pretty neat. I think those 2 stories are absolutely wonderful, and I like to kind of just bring those stories out to you guys so that you're aware of what's going on in your neighborhoods. Okay, you need more coffee 1-minute tips. Oh boy. Well, let me just kind of pour you up a cup because I think I need another swivel of my water as well. So here's to you guys. Oh yes, okay. I definitely needed that sip. I think my throat is going on me. It's going up and down today. But I pour you up a cup, and I hope you guys like your steaming coffee. Do you want 1 lump or 2? Let me know. So there's your coffee for you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. If you like the mug, we do have those on our shop as well. So if you're interested, they're down below. Alrighty, I think we are ready to get started on our project here. And like I said, we are doing embossed embroidery. So let me give you some samples of what we're going to be doing today. So here is one that we did. And I did it on a little mini towel. And let me see if I can bring it closer to you guys. I'll just lift it this way so you can see that. So we have a little terry towel, and it's basically just an embossed hummingbird with the flower on there. And I think it's really beautiful. And it's kind of raised the nap here a little bit, and then you can see the embroidery. But the other one that we're going to be doing today, and this one really excited me because I just love the way it came out, with a white towel, really made a big difference. And that's this little hibiscus flower right here. Let me see if I can raise this one. Kind of hard to kind of hold them on to it. So there we go. So really pretty flower that you can put, and you can put these on towels. You can put these on so many different items. And I think it's just gorgeous because it really gives it that 3D effect here. I don't know if you guys can see it so much. I don't think the camera does it too much justice in terms of showing the 3D effect. But yeah, it's gorgeous. I really love the way this one turned out. So we're going to do another one of these today. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to do this. Now, I have this on a little towel here. You can do it on, a full bath towel. You can do it on so many different materials, and I kind of listed them out for you. You can do these on naps, terry cloths, fleece, and any kind of fabric that has a textured surface to it. You can also do these on velvet, leather, cowhide, suede. You can have also metals that you can put this on, like aluminum, brass, and copper. So there's tons of things that you can emboss on. You just need to make sure that you have some type of a textured surface to it so that the embossing will do it. So some people ask, okay, so what actually is embossing? So embossing is pretty much, it's a 3D dimensional effect that it will put onto your fabric. That's basically what embossing is. It kind of takes all that negative space around the design and pushes it down. And when it does that, it allows the nap to the fiber, the nap and the fibers itself of your actual product to raise up. And so it kind of just smushes it down and then pops up the design. So that's how it gets that little 3D effect to it. And it's really simple to do. I really love the way it came out. You can just do it on so many different items, but yeah. Oh, awesome. So you have 2 to make this evening. You're doing a cat with big sunglasses. Oh, awesome. Oh, yes, please do post that on our Facebook page, Cindy. I would love to see that. Awesome. There's so many beautiful designs out there. You can do all kinds of things that you can put your initials on, monograms, all tons of monograms out there. And they really add a really nice touch to your bathrooms. If you have the little towels, it's definitely beautiful. Yes, this is embossed embroidery. You've never tried that? Yeah, it's really simple to do, and I'm going to show you how easy it is. So we're going to get started on this because the stitch out time on this particular design is 18 minutes. On the other one, it was like 40 minutes. So I thought this one is probably better to do because it's shorter time and we'll be able to end on time. Now this one I really love because there's only one color. Only one color. You don't have to deal with a lot of color changes. So that's a plus there too. So really, really easy. Okay. And for those of you who have smaller embroidery machines, like I'm using my SE 1900. And so my limitation on that machine is the 5x7 hoop. And so you can do these with small hoops. So no hoop envy there now. You can do these with the smaller hoop sizes. So we're using the 5x7. I'm going to be taking a little terry cloth. Now remember guys, I told you guys I had gotten these from Walmart and they were on clearance for $1. So I mean, guys, for $1 you can take this little towel and make it something really gorgeous. I mean, why not, right? Yeah, they do make great gifts. They do. It's awesome. Okay, so let's talk about stabilizers and what you're going to need for this. So for this project, I am using some cutaway stabilizer. And the way I kind of trim this out is I just take the bottom of my hoop and let me kind of move these over a bit. And turn this around. There we go. And I just kind of put my hoop down. Oops. There we go. Let me get this out of the way. I kind of put this down on a flat surface. And then I just make sure that I have a generous amount on each side of my hoop. And then I'm just going to go ahead and get scissors, grab your rotary blade. And you don't have to measure this exactly. So all I do is just kind of eyeball it. And I'm just going to cut a piece of the stabilizer here. And that's all you need from that. So I'm going to move that over to the side. It's a pretty big roll. And then the second thing you're going to need is some wash away stabilizer. And the wash away, what the wash away's purpose is to hold down the nap on your machine. So I'm going to again take this. I just kind of lay it on top here. I eyeball it. I don't really measure it to the T. I just kind of eyeball it. And then you can take some scissors. I'm just going to take my little rotary blade and just slice a piece off of that. Now, there's different types of washaways that you can get. I'm just using this one. I used before the Pellon brands, and this is the one that I use, which was the Soul You Film. It's by Pellon. This is the one that I use, but I did run out of it. And of course, now Joann's is closed, and so I didn't find it right off the bat, so I just got the quickest thing that I could get. and that's this brand here. And I think it does a pretty good job. So I was not, I was pretty happy with it, and it was a pretty decent size roll, and it was a good price. So I gave it a try. I haven't run it through the wash just yet, but those are the products that I'm using today. And my cutaway, again, you want the cutaway because the cutaway is going to be acting as your stabilizer. That's what's going to hold everything together. Because remember, you've got these fabrics. I'm using the terry cloth, which is pretty stable. Doesn't have too much of a stretch here at all, right? But it is very soft and can move around a lot. So you want to make sure that you stabilize it in order to get those stitches in place, and you don't want it moving around on you. So the other thing I'm going to grab here is my basting spray. And so you can use any type of basting spray. It doesn't have to be anything, any brand particular, right? So we'll just take some basting spray, and this is just for me to be able to kind of put these together. Let's see. I have a brand. It does work well. Awesome. Great. So I have this basting spray that I'm going to kind of push here to the side because I don't want the fumes going all over the place. So pardon me here. I am just spraying it on top. I like to put a generous amount there. And I'd like to just put it on my cutaway. And then I'm going to grab my little hand towel here, and I'm going to just fold this in half just to find my middle point, and then just kind of drop it in the middle here. And then I just kind of let it go. And it's just because I have that basting spray, I like to kind of do it that way so I don't have to shift it around as much. So I've just pretty much put the cutaway on the back of this towel. That's all you're doing. And it just needs to just hold it in place. And then the next thing you're going to do is grab your hoop. So I'm going to take my bottom hoop here, put that down. And the first thing you want to do is make sure that you have it opens all the way as wide as you can, because this is a lot that you are hooping together. So those of you who have those hoops with the big machines, the fast frames and things like that, we have that hoop embroidery on that stuff because that is a little difficult to hoop this together. You do struggle a little bit with this, and so got a little hoop embroidery with, they use the little magnets and just snap them in and it's in place. So those are awesome, but I don't have those. So we're going to move on with this. Now I'm going to put my wash away stabilizer right on top, and I'm just going to make sure that this is lined up here. And then I'm going to bring my top hoop here, and I'm just kind of eyeballing it to be in the center. If you want to be more precise, of course, you'll take your time on doing that and making sure it's centered. But for this, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. This is really just for me. So it doesn't need to be 100% perfect for me. So because this is a lot of bulk, I do need to kind of stand up and give it a lot of pressure to pull this down. So here we go. And boy, did I struggle with this one yesterday, because this is a lot of layers that you are going through trying to pull this together. So it is difficult. And let's see it. I'm going to kind of take it off this way. And get one side down. And then I got to move my hands and do the other side. And I have to check to make sure my hoop opens all the way. Open it a little more. And yes, this is the struggle. This is the big struggle here, is getting this in. But once you get it in, you're good. But man, it takes a little muscle here. Let me see. I'm going to widen a little more. Try to get it as wide as you can. But this is definitely where you struggle a little bit. And if you had another pair of hands that would really work. Yeah, I prefer to float everything myself. I mean, what are you? Are you a floater or are you the hoop person? I am definitely a floater, but they did recommend that it be hooped. So I'm trying to hoop it. And of course, it's giving me all kinds of problems now. Yesterday, it was bad, but it wasn't too bad. Today, it's going to give me all kinds of problems. So if you have that third set of hands in your house, go ahead and do that. Ask them to help you because it's tough. It's a lot. Okay, I think we got it now. Here we go. So I got it hooped, and I'm just going to pull on the knot on the wash away a little bit. I want to make sure that this is nice and flat. And then I'm going to just turn this around, and you want to make sure that this is good. Now, of course, I am totally off-centered here, but my design is actually going to go this way, not this way. So it's actually this side that I'm good, because this design is too large on a 5x7 to go this way. So you have to turn your hoop the other way. So this is actually my middle. So I just have to center this piece, not that. So I'm okay. This is just for me. I just want to show it to you guys. And I don't want to take too much time on this. So once you have this nice and tight, I do like to float things, but they recommended that you put it in the hoop. So again, magnetic hoops, awesome, but it's a little difficult. I can tell you that. There's a struggle and a lot of muscle that you got to put this on here. So it does take some time. Take your time hooping it, making sure you're centered. If you want it exactly centered, you can make your little marks here before you hoop it to make sure that you're all lined up as well. I'm just kind of doing this willy-nilly. I kind of already have it here, so I'm happy with that one. I just want to show it to you guys. But to hoop it, yeah, these are the three things. And let's put this on this embroidery machine because it does take a few for it to stitch out. So I'm going to go ahead, and we've got a little camera, and pardon me, I don't want to give you guys my back, but we've got a little camera on our Brother SE1900. And so I'm going to go ahead and I am putting in my USB into the machine. And you get this going here. And then we're going to bring our hoop over. And I'm going to go ahead and put this together. Okay, make sure it's nice and secure in there. And I'm going to lay that down. And then I'm going to go ahead and open this up on the top. I'm going to use this thread. It's number 869. It's kind of similar to what we had here. It's the same thread color. So this one is the sim thread is what we're using. And it's number 869. So really pretty color. I think I liked how it kind of popped on there. So I'm going to go ahead and thread my machine. Camera's kind of in the way, but it's okay. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And it has the auto threader, which I think is wonderful. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and bring up my design. Sorry, my throat again. And so one thing that you want to do is make sure that your design is positioned in the right place. So make sure that if you need to rotate it, that it's kind of showing the right way. Make sure you do that on your machine. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of leave it in that position. Actually, no, I'm going to rotate it. For me, it kind of really doesn't matter. And then one thing you want to do is you want to trace. So always trace on your machine before you go ahead and set this up. You want to make sure that you are not going to hit your hoop or anything like that, and you have enough space and it's free. It's kind of free moving itself all around and not kind of bumping into anything. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK, and we're going to go ahead and start embroidering on this. It is going to take about 18 minutes, and it's only just the one color, so no color changes involved. Oh, so sorry. Hold on a second. We've got to rethread here. Well, looks like my thread. I'm going to have to I might bump the camera a little bit here, guys, because I had a hard time threading it with the camera here. So let me just move this over. Okay. Let's try that again. There we go. I think we're good now. Okay. So just had a little loose there, but I had to kind of do it loose with the camera was in the way. So what's really nice is it only has that one color change, and I think it makes a beautiful design, and you can change it up to different colors, but you can see it's pretty much an easy stitch out. It's just going to go ahead and lay that down. So what it's basically doing at this point, as the machine is starting to embroider, it's going around through the negative space of your design, and it's pulling down those fibers that is using the wash away with it. So if you look at the wash away, so the wash away, if you see what the wash away is, and you kind of really get into details on the wash away, you look at the fiber contents of it itself, right? If you're looking at this, this is basically, it looks like just a plastic. It's just that water soluble film that you have on here. And that film will act as a base to kind of help keep the fibers together and help push it down as the needle is embroidering on it. And so when it goes around through that negative space, it's going to start raising the area around it. So the area that it's actually embroidering on, it's pushing it down. And so you can see that a little bit here. Let me move this a little more. Let me try to stand up to see if you guys can see that. So you can see on here, you can see a little bit of this puffiness. It's kind of similar to what's called puff embroidery, but puff embroidery is a lot more highlighted, right? That one really has a lot of sponge that picks up. The emboss just has a little bit less of that, and it's not using the actual product to do the raising of the fibers. It's actually using the stabilizers themselves as well as the thread to really hold it down. So you want to be very careful on the types of threads that you use. Make sure you're using a good, strong embroidery thread. This is a polyester. So make sure that is a synthetic thread, because cotton threads are not going to do this any justice. It will wear out over time because it is a natural fiber. So when you're looking at your threads, anything that's kind of man-made is going to give it a lot more tension to it, and it's going to be able to really hold it down. So this is really neat. What kind of needle and size do you use? I have right now an 80-12 because I had another project that I was doing that required that, and it worked just fine with that size needle. I didn't have any issues with it. So yeah. Now you also want to, I'm glad you brought that up. You also want to be careful with the product itself that you are using. So if you're using like a denim or things like that, you don't want to use a 75-11 for denim. You want to do something heavier for that, like an 80-12, like a 90, right? You want to make sure that your needle size is really proportionate to the product that you're using, whether you're using the towel or a jean jacket or something like that, because that's really what's going to penetrate into the actual product and anchor those stitches into place. So when you do this, you've got your cutaway on the back, and this is what the back looks like, which I loved because it was really pretty clean, not too many jump stitches or anything like that. So it was a really clean outcome. And this stabilizer is what's really going to hold these stitches into place. But then when you start putting this into the wash, this is eventually going to be very soft and limpy, and it kind of loses a little bit of that stability. But this is why you need to use cutaway. Things like tearaway are not going to work for this product, this particular project, because that doesn't provide enough stability to hold the stitches in place as it will over time. So where did I get this design? So the design itself I got from Embroidery Library. I think it was about $4, something like that. It was pretty low cost. It wasn't anything expensive, but they've got tons of designs out there from all different places that you can get it from. Embroidery Library. I mean, there's tons and tons of other places. Creative Fabrica, tons of places that carry it. You could just search if they have some websites have the ability to search by technique, and you can type in embossed embroidery, or you can just type in embossed and see what comes up. So it's pretty popular and it's a pretty heavy trend. So I'm pretty sure you'll find a lot of things out there. Some people put them on sweatshirts and they say mama on it. That's another big hit that people are using that. But I think it's really neat how you can just kind of put all this together and have that 3D effect similar to a puff embroidery without using the extra materials that a puff embroidery would involve. So this is nice. It's perfect for gifts, for monograms. They're absolutely gorgeous. A lot of people do these as gifts and for weddings, new homes, especially if you someone that bought a new home and you want to give them a nice little bath set with some nice towels and stuff. You can do that and monogram their names, their initials on there. So that's another nice thing you can do. But they have some really pretty designs too. They had, there was one that I saw that was like a little fishy, but it really looked gorgeous the way it kind of popped. There's just so many that you can pick. So many. So it's really nice to kind of see it out there. And when you bring this, for those of you who have Embrilliance, if you purchase the design and then bring it into Embrilliance, take a little bit of time to study the design, right? Bring it into Embrilliance, open up the properties so that you can see all of the steps. Run the simulator. The simulator will allow you to see how it's going to stitch it out, and it'll run through the process and you'll see what gets stitched first, what gets stitched second. You know, if you have several color changes like this one did, you'll be able to see your steps and decide, you know, what colors you want to pick and things like that. Now, for these particular designs, I can tell you, we tested it both ways, right? A lot of the designs, and you'll notice all the pictures that you see out there with the designs, will have some type of a white terry towel-ish or some kind of white background, because the designs themselves are really being made with the thread colors that are selected. And so one thing I noticed is because of the white background, it really makes the design pop versus having something on a different type of color. So like we have this blue here as our little terry towel. The design does not pop as well as it does with the white one, right? So preferably try to use a white background, so white sweatshirts, white little towels. You know, it depends what your design is that you're selecting, but this seems to come out the best with the pops of the color. Where this one's a little bit lost, you can see it, and I think using the white thread was a big plus, but it definitely, you know, is better if you can do it with the white, because it does stand out a lot more. So little differences here on the different products that you can use. Be sure not to rinse your wash away in a bowl and throw outside. Do not pour. Yeah, not down the drain. Exactly. Yes, Krista, that is an excellent point. Thank you. You cannot take, a lot of people will take a bowl and then they will, rinse it out, dump it down the sink. Don't do that. That will clog up your sink. It is wash away. It's kind of pasty if you guys ever tried to kind of do it manually. Other ways you can do it is taking a spray bottle and spraying it and taking a damp little towel and just doing it that way. Takes a lot longer to do it that way. I prefer to just kind of take an open faucet and really dunk it, and then you can take a towel. But the other thing you can do is you can take an old toothbrush. Don't use the one that your family is using. Take a toothbrush that nobody uses and keep that in your craft room. Yes, the embossed designs work well on minky, yes, and other napped fabrics. They do. So if you have maybe a little baby blanket that you're doing or something with some minky fabric, that is a perfect way to monogram something and keep that in place. Okay, let me just double check here. It looks like our design is going. I was going to just tilt that a little bit. Let me try to tilt it just a tad. Let's see. I think that's a little better. You guys can see that going. It's still going. It's got 18 minutes. So let's see what happens. But it looks like it's about maybe halfway there, almost. So another thing that you can do, once you take off the wash away, then you may want to take a little toothbrush or something to kind of fluff up. You want to be able to fluff. Let me move over this way. You want to be able to fluff up the fabrics so that they can raise. And doing it with just a little toothbrush or something you have on hand. Some people just do it with their fingers. But you want to try to evenly take out all that wash away and just give it a nice little scrub here with a toothbrush or something like that to kind of raise the fibers back up, so that it gives you a nice embossed look. You don't want it to be continually flat because that wash away was holding it down. So it's not too much of a fluff in there. So using the toothbrush is going to bring that fluff back and just kind of really make it look more embossed. So you definitely want to do that. Okay. Oh, you like the camera angles? Well, you're welcome. We try our best. I'm actually doing a little tripod, and I have the camera kind of taped on to the tripod because it's one of those cameras that kind of move around. It's similar to our SoCam. So this is what I'm using for the embroidery machine. I couldn't put the camera on the embroidery machine because there's too much shaking going on. So when we tried it, it was just shaking all over the place. So it wasn't a good fit. And I didn't want it to kind of be too much in the way of actually working on it. So a little bit difficult there. But this is the best I was able to do to kind of give you guys an angle so you can see what was happening on the machine. It is a little loud. I'm hoping you guys can hear me okay. We did a lot of noise compression testing on that. That was a lot of fun to do. But yeah, these machines can be quite loud. And for those of you that have those multi-needle machines, I'm sure that you've got these mats that you can put underneath to eliminate some of the shaking and some of the noise. But yeah, it's something you just learn to live with, right? So it is kind of stitching along back there. So let's kind of go back here to our little project. So once I got all of the wash away off, I took my little toothbrush and I just kind of raised all of the fibers back up. And it kind of helps to bring the design back in place. So you see it looks a little bit better, a little bit more raised. And so it really transforms the project itself. But you have to take that time to kind of take that wash away off and really get it the effect going on here. So on here looks really great. I like it a lot here. I do have wash away still to take off on here. And then for the cutaway on the back, I just go as close as I can to the actual project. I could kind of get in here and cut to get a little closer if I wanted to. But, you know, I always have this fear that I'm going to cut the fabric, because it did happen to me one time. I was completely done with a project and I went to the back and I was just not paying attention, and I was cutting away the cutaway, and by accident I nipped the actual project, and so I ended up with a hole on my project. I was so upset. I had to literally start all over again. It was just like a hole that just was right there and you could see it. You can't hear the machine at all? Oh, awesome. Oh, thanks, Flo. Awesome. I'm glad. We tried a lot. We were up pretty late last night just kind of doing that sound check. So it took a while to get to this point because it was really loud and then you couldn't hear what I was saying. So a lot of testing last night on that. But now that we kind of have it set, we'll be kind of set to do more embroidery projects as we go along. So hopefully, you know, this works. We'll see what's going on in the background here. But I was going to move the machine over to the table so you guys could see it here better, but all that shaking and that noise with me being right next to it was just not going to work out. So we decided to go ahead and leave it back here running on its own. When we move over to the new craft room, then we'll be able to position it in a better place and hopefully, you know, do things. We're going to rework all of the lights, all of the camera angles and everything so that you can really get some nice close-up features. You know, drop stuff from the ceiling to hopefully get really nice angles for you guys. So stay tuned on that because that's coming along, but there's just a ton of work to do on that. We're literally transforming our one-car garage into a new craft room. So there's a lot to do, lots of painting, lots of popcorn ceiling that I'm going to be removing, the lighting, everything has to kind of be laid out and some in the planning stages and just in the cleaning out stages. So we're slowly getting things out and, you know, just doing a lot of cleanup in there. So it's going to be a while, but it's going. Awesome. Okay. Looks good with that mini cam. Awesome. Thank you. 1 minute tips. All righty. Okay. So that's what we have. If you guys have any questions on embossing, let me know. I think the hardest thing actually was the hooping for this. But if you guys with those bigger machines have those magnetic hoops that kind of snap on, this is going to be a breeze for you. Let's see. It's almost there. We are almost done. It's just finishing up a last part now. I think what it is embroidering right now is the little tip with the little flowers on the top here. So I think that's the part it's doing. So it's almost there. I'm so excited. Okay. So while it's doing that, let's do the inspirational quote of the day so we can get that going. Alrighty. So our inspirational quote of the day is: with every new approach tried, the crafter becomes more skilled, more confident, and more creative. And that's what I hope you guys get from this today. Try out new skills. Don't be afraid to kind of try things that are new. Always have little blanks that you can get, like from the dollar store. They sell little terry towels that you can practice these skills on before you tackle your really nice towels or, you know, new, maybe a little jean jacket. Before you tackle any of those, make sure that you test it, and you can get all kinds of blanks from the dollar store, places like that. So make sure that you do that, but don't be afraid to try the skill out. Okay, it looks like our design is done, so let me just go ahead and grab that. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK because it finished embroidering, and I'm going to take this off. And let's take that out, and let's bring that over to the table. make some space over here. And I'm going to go ahead and just check the back, and you can see here, nice and clean. I really love the way the back of the embroidery is really clean here. It really did a fantastic job. Let me move my wash away over here and make sure that we've got a pretty good surface. Okay, do I have two mini sew cams? Actually, I have one for the embroidery machine, one for the sewing machine, one for the scan and cut. So we've got three. And I had a little nut cam that I used as well. Not sure if I still have that one. I have the nut cam there, and that's what we used kind of like for Christmas time. It's a little nutcracker, and it was just actually the little item that we had that actually held the camera in place that I needed. So we called it a nut cam. But yeah, that's how we got the name for it. It's just a little nutcracker that we use, and it holds our little camera in place. And that was our first mini cam that we used. So a lot of this is kind of homemade little put together things that we're able to do. Because let me tell you guys, equipment is super expensive. So we try to, do things on a budget. Okay, so I'm flipping this around, and here it is. It really doesn't have too many jump stitches either, which is great. So it has this one jump stitch right here. You guys can see that. It's just got the one line. And so I'll go ahead and snip that off. Okay, and then you can see here, I'm going to pop this right off the hoop. Grab that bottom hoop. Okay, and then you can see how really nice this came out. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I really love how this design comes out. I think it's gorgeous. And so on the back side, you have all this cutaway, and you do want to cut that off. And remember, we've basted it, so you just kind of have to pull it a little bit until you get to where the embroidery starts. So I just kind of loosen that up here. And then I'm just going to grab my scissors, and I'm going to cut, just leaving about maybe a 1/2 inch around it. You can do 1/4 inch, whatever you feel comfortable with. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut that off. Big chunk right there. And I'll cut this off. And then I cut the initial big pieces off, and then I kind of go back in later and do some cleanup on there. I find that to be the easiest way. But the way I do is just pulling on the cutaway, let the project fall on the other side. That's why I kind of pulled it away initially, to take all of that basting spray away. And then I just cut the pieces off. This way, I don't cut my project like I did last time, right? So I'll cut this. And there we go. So I cut all the big chunks, and so I can go back later and kind of trim it up a little bit more, but in general, you just wanted to get all that cutaway out of the way. And then you're going to flip it over, and you do have to take off your wash away. And so I like to kind of just go up to where the stitching starts, find a little corner, and then just kind of pull against it, and it should come right off. It'll perforate. And then I turn my project so that all these little pieces right here that are in between, these little crevices, that can be a little bit of a pain to get out. So if you turn it and you pull the opposite side, it should come right off, and you won't have those little pieces staying in place because they are a little difficult to get out. So I just like to kind of pull against it. And look, I've got a ton of wash away that I just took off. Now I still need to take off the flower pieces and stuff. So I do try to get as much as I can off, that, as much as you can. And then you'll go in and you'll just go to the sink, just wash it, to get the wash away out, or you could do it with a spray bottle or with a little hand towel like we were talking about before. However you like to remove your wash away. Just remember, don't put it down the sink. If you're using the bowl, don't put it down your sink. You definitely want to keep that, really, really nice. Okay. So this is our embossed item. Super easy to do, right? The hardest part was, again, the hooping. That is the hardest part in getting, that centered as you want. And for me, I didn't care about the centering or anything. This was just really just to show you guys. But make your marks if you're going to do your centering. Make your marks on that. And you'll end up with a beautiful embossed item. And I think they're really gorgeous and they make great gifts. So give it a try. Don't be afraid to learn a new skill or try things out. Use your blanks that you can get from like the Dollar Tree or any place like that. Maybe your local Walmart will have some little hand towels like these on sale for $1, like I got. But use that to go ahead and just kind of play around with it, explore the different options, or maybe design one of your own. Alrighty, I hope you guys really enjoyed that. That's all I have for you guys today. And let me know if you guys really love the embroidery, so we can do more embroidery during the week. And now that we got our camera set up, I think we can really tackle that a little bit easier, so we can explore all kinds of other techniques as well. Let's see. Don't forget, guys, if you do go ahead and do any of these projects, please post them on Facebook so I can see that. Nancy, on those big petal areas, you can fold them, pinch with plastic, water-soluble stabilizer, and pull, and I bet most will be gone. Fold the pinch with the okay, I'm going to try that, Cindy. I'm going to try that because I'm going to be making a couple more of these because, of course, my mom wants one. She saw it and she wants it. So definitely, I'll try that out. Alrighty, guys, we're right on time, and I know that some of you guys will be heading over to see Becky with Power Tools with Fred. I'm sure she's got something amazing for us. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye, everyone.
So long for now, so long. Glad you stayed a while. Hope you liked my crafting style. Hope I left you with a smile. By now, keep your mind and space clutter-free. Hope your day is bright as can be. So long, my friends, till we craft once again. Bye now, stay crafting. See you tomorrow. So long, my friends, till we craft once again.